want to thank you all for being here today. We're going to be recording a coaching session. Now this is a mini coaching session. We're going to go for about 15, maybe 20 minutes. But I wanted to give you a glimpse of what a coaching session might look like if you were to do one face-to-face, or if we were distance. It would possibly be similar, but it wouldn't be live, of course. So I'm Dr. Kim Allen.
I'm Tara Baker.
And we work at North Carolina State University, and we're going to begin a family life coaching demonstration. So Tara, first of all, thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, you are welcome.
And for doing it last minute, because
Okay.
I know we just talked about this, and this is the first of our coaching series that we're hoping to make. So thank you for coming. And since this isn't a formal coaching arrangement, we don't have a formal agreement.
Mm-hmm.
So today we're just going to take a topic that's of interest to you and kind of explore it. Does that work for you?
Yes.
Great. So what you thinking? What would you like to talk about
So
today?
I'm thinking I really want to incorporate a healthier lifestyle with my family. I have an interest in exercising, and I think it's a really great coping mechanism, and I'd like to kind of give that to my children to use. And I'd also like to use it as a way for us to bond as a family and just kind of move forward in a healthy manner.
Wow, so you're ready to kind of get active, get your family active.
I am, but when I'm ready, everybody else isn't ready.
Oh, sure.
So
you say, let's get up and move, and they're not on board.
yes.
So tell me a little bit about what it would look like if it looked the way you wanted it to look.
Okay, if it looked the way I wanted it to look, it would, okay, so for an example, I had decided to run a 3K. I think that's what it's called. And I wanted my youngest son to do it with me. And so I set up, I think following guidelines of Couch to 3K, and we would run every other day for a certain amount of time. And so what that would look like is I say, hey, it's time for us to run. Come on, let's get moving. He says, oh, great, Mom, and puts his shoes on and runs downstairs and does it with me. But that's not how it looks at all.
That's not how it really looked.
No.
That's how you want it to look,
Yes,
though.
that's how I want it to look.
Okay, so let me ask you a different question. You said for the whole family, this is with one kiddo. So in
Yeah.
your scenario, is it just with one kiddo, or is there a way to incorporate?
Well, I would love for the whole family to do it. One is kind of young, so it would be hard. My daughter, it would be hard for her to do like the running.
Sure.
Somebody would need to walk with her. My husband, definitely not on board for running. Not at all. Just kind of like, why would I run? It doesn't sound like fun. So something that kind of works with everyone, and I guess
Okay.
running probably isn't the thing that works with everyone.
Or it sounds like it could be running is good for the one child, so that could be a separate thing that's part of
A
bigger picture. Yeah. So can you think about a time in the past when the family, either an occasion or maybe a time frame or a time in the past when y'all were active and connected around activity?
That's a hard one. I think of maybe when we're on vacation and there's
Oh.
not another option. Like I feel like when you're at home, everybody kind of gets into their zone and has their own thing to do, and it's kind of hard to break that, and it's not really something everybody wants to do at that time, even if it's been planned ahead. Where like if we're on vacation, you don't have those comforts of home, and it's understood on vacation the whole family does something together, so let's go and do this. So that's something that comes
That
to
makes
mind.
perfect sense. That rings true for me and my family as well.
Yeah.
So on vacation, you're out of your element, and you're all sort of together making this choice.
Right.
So tell me about the last time you were on vacation. What were some of the activities that you all did that fit this category of,
Okay, so
it's really kind of connecting and exercise. They're
Right.
healthy living kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
And making it so positive so they want to continue to do it. So I guess bike riding, and I feel like everyone will bike ride except for my daughter. she refuses to learn how to ride a bike.
Oh, okay.
She's terrified that something bad is going to happen to her, and we've tried several different things, and she just refuses.
So tell me about what you've tried.
So, learning to ride in the grass, not on a street. Obviously, training wheels. Even with the training wheels, she got scared because they weren't even. We made them a little bit more wobbly, so she would start to
balance.
No, she ended up in tears, crying because she was so scared. She's just terrified. She'll come up with ideas. She'll say, "You know what? I'm gonna wrap pillows all around me," and so it's really adorable.
She's trying so hard.
She's trying.
So it sounds like something she wants.
I think she wants to please us. It's not because she wants to ride a bike.
Okay.
So we've gotten her a scooter, so that kind of works, but then she's left behind.
Because it doesn't go nearly as fast
Right.
as the bikes.
Right.
Okay.
And going down hills and
Yeah. So bikes are good for all but one, and there's some ideas about maybe working with the one and getting her up to speed.
Right.
What are some other things that you've done out either on holiday or other times?
And it would probably be games, like capture the flag or kickball game, something like that.
Oh, tell me more about a game.
So in the backyard, maybe if the weather's nice, and we'll just play kickball or volleyball with one of those
So tell
balls.
me, does that happen? Have you done that before?
Yeah, that happens. It's just not very organized. It's not something I feel like we can plan for if we were creating, an exercise plan or whatnot.
So that's just more a fun thing that happens. It's not really something that is
it's not like
sustainable.
every week, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Just kind of when everybody's around.
Okay. So we have bike riding, we have games in the backyard. What are some other things that your family has done?
Okay, well the kids are on the swim team, so we've done that, so that's good. And we did
All
think
three children have
all
done
three are on the swim team, and they're all doing well on the swim team. So this summer I tried to incorporate my husband with the swim team, and he doesn't really enjoy swimming.
It just seems like a big task to get 5 people
It is.
on the same page.
Well, so at the swim club, there's tennis courts. So I thought, well, when the kids are swimming, then my husband and I could play tennis.
Okay.
So that worked maybe 3 times, but then he.
So it did work.
But it wasn't sustaining.
Wasn't sustaining, but it worked for a couple times.
For a couple times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
what about in the non-summer hours? Would swimming be an option for the kids?
no.
No. Okay.
No, it's a place we have to drive to. It's a little out of the way, and it's an outdoor pool. So even if it was just, a different type of, the pool's only open from May till September. So.
And what about a different pool that's open in the winter?
That would probably cause a problem because we would have to drive really far to get to it.
Okay, so there's not one in your town.
Yeah, we would have to drive to Raleigh.
Okay, so we had the idea of some backyard games, bike riding, swimming, which is actually kind of works in the summer, not 100%.
Right.
And what other ideas have you had?
I think if we all just walked, that would be everybody together and getting some exercise at the same time. It doesn't have to be intense exercise, but if we just, walked a good mile or something, just really incorporated that, I think that would be helpful. I think everybody's willing to walk.
So you could maybe tuck everyone into that one.
Yeah, I think it's just...
Have you done it in the past? Is that something that you've tried?
Sometime we haven't walked that long, but I would like to make it be a longer walk. You know how little kids are, though. Halfway through, they're like, "Oh, I'm tired. I gotta keep walking.
My legs hurt, Mom. Please, can we go home? I'm not ready to go home yet. Can we keep walking?" Yeah.
And I recently read this book called Wild, and yes, and it really inspired me to hike.
Yeah.
And so I have a great desire to hike. And I did ask my husband, would you want to hike? We could do it for one day on the weekend we could take the kids, we could go somewhere, we could find hiking trails. And he's not as into the hiking as much.
Okay.
So
it sounds like you've had some conversations with your husband.
yeah, I've tried.
What about your communication? Well, I'll just tell you, I'll just ask you about the family communication. Tell me about what that looks like when, just really around this topic. What would you say it has looked like in terms of how you're talking, how this, I don't know if I would call it an issue, but how this goal you have, how is that being communicated with the family as a whole?
It's not.
It's
really.
It's not. So tell me more about that.
I guess, I mean, now that you say that, it makes me realize that maybe I haven't made it a very prominent desire.
Oh.
That maybe I should say, hey, I'd really like for us to do this as a family. So, yeah, that's helpful.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So what would that look like?
I don't know. Probably just sitting at the table and saying, hey, I've got a plan. Does everybody want to exercise? Let's try to work out an exercise plan. Tell me what you like, kind of thing.
So getting their feedback, having a place where you're already together,
Yeah.
and having that conversation.
Yeah.
You know, the educator in me gets really excited about that.
Okay.
Because have you heard of the concept of family meetings or the
Oh,
family
yeah,
council?
the Democratic.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. So that sounds a little bit to me like that strategy of that
Yeah.
family meeting.
Yeah, that does sound like the family would have more of a vested interest in it if they had that, you know, they were able to start planning it, or they were able to put their
They had a
likes and
voice,
yeah,
right? If they had a
right.
voice in this,
Instead of just
yeah.
somebody saying, "Hey, we're going to do this now."
So how would you set that conversation up? How would you ensure that that conversation could happen?
I guess I would just have to make sure that I brought it up and to maybe have the kids and my husband and I write things down and maybe take a couple Saturdays and try to plan for something specifically, or Friday night or something. Maybe work it into like a family night. Friday nights we usually watch a movie, so maybe if we did it before the movie or something like that. I don't know.
So you're still kind of fuzzy on how that would look. But I'll tell you one of the things that, from being in a relationship with you, I know this about you, is that you are a hard worker when it comes to helping your family be successful. And I've heard so many great stories about how you have been successful at, you know, moving your family from A to B, you know, to make them better. And so I have no doubt you're going to figure this out, and I'm excited for you. I think this is really good. So one of the things in coaching that we try to do is an action step. So you've brainstormed a lot of ideas, specific activities, riding bikes, swimming, even maybe a family meeting. Of the things that we've talked about today, which feels like the best next step? Which thing would you be willing to commit to before we check in next week?
That would be the family meeting.
You're feeling good about the family meeting?
Yeah, I think that's the next step.
Okay.
I don't see how I could get anywhere else without that.
Without that. So you feel like brainstorming the activities might help with the conversation, but that conversation is going to be critical to your family's
because
buy-in.
I think they need their buy-in. They need to have their input so that they're excited about it as well. Because I don't want it to be a chore. I want them to be excited about it.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I agree with you. I think this is a great first step. So let's just take one or two more minutes and talk about when that meeting's going to happen, how it's going to happen, and make sure that you're ready. Does that sound good?
Okay, so can it happen tonight? We've got scouts tonight, tomorrow night scouts, Friday night. Maybe, because it is it's the planned movie night, but I know that my husband and I decided on that would be our date night.
Okay.
So maybe not that night.
Okay.
Saturday, my husband has a gig, so probably not that night. Sunday, he has band practice. Monday is music. Tuesday.
Sounds like your family's very scheduled.
Yeah. He has something Tuesday evening. It's probably, I feel like in order for there to be an in-depth conversation, I don't want us to have to rush somewhere afterwards. I don't want it to be like, okay, here, eat your grilled cheese sandwich and shove it down your mouth.
You have 5 minutes. What do you want to do? What do you want to do?
I don't want it to be like that.
You want it to be leisurely.
Yeah.
So are dinners the best time, or are there other
I think
options?
as long as we don't have to, if we don't have music, we don't have scouts, if we don't have all those other things, which would put it out. Gosh, and the kids have open house the next 2 Thursdays. And I know he has a gig the next
Are there
Friday
any other
night.
times of the day that this conversation can happen?
Do you think it would be okay to not, no, I don't think it would be okay. I was thinking just talk to some of the a couple of the kids, or just the kids, and talk to my husband. But I feel like everybody needs to be in the discussion at the same time.
Yeah, I would say go with what you feel is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting that you're having a hard time pinpointing a time when you all are together for a conversation.
Yeah, that's difficult. So I'm gonna go with Friday, before date night, before a movie. That's what I'm gonna go with.
That's what you're going with. That's your final answer.
That's my final answer.
You're sticking to it.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I don't see how to put it in any other way.
Okay. So you have an idea of when you're going to do it. Talk to me about how that will look.
It'll look, I'm just gonna have everybody be together and maybe have the kids get out pencil and paper and just talk about, I really want us to try to start exercising together and doing something healthy so that we can stay healthy with our mind and our body and then your spirit. So I think that if we all are together, then, we definitely all have to be together. So that, and just asking ideas, what do you think is
Giving
something?
them a chance to
yeah,
share their
what
ideas.
what do you think would be a good idea for us to do for exercise?
And I think talking about it, but having them an opportunity to write it down,
Yeah.
you're sort of getting all opportunities for them to
Yeah, all of
get
the
their ideas out.
Plus, I feel like when they write it down, sometimes they realize that it's actually going to happen instead of just, hey, let's talk about this thing. Yeah.
Awesome. Are there any other details you feel like we need to go over?
No? Do you feel like I'm leaving anything out?
I don't feel like you're leaving any detail out. I just am really excited to see how it turns out.
Me too.
How the conversation goes.
I wonder what will happen
How
and
their
who will speak
reactions
up.
are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great. So maybe we can check back in next week
Yeah.
and you can fill me in on how it
Yeah.
went.
I think that's
great.
awesome.
Okay, so that we're going to wrap up our session now. Hopefully you'll see that there were some of the activities that we talked about last week in terms of building that relationship, having nonverbal and verbal cues, and then the session of actually going through letting the client identify the issue and working them through to action steps and some accountability. So the accountability is we'll
Yes.
check in next week.
Yes.
Okay, thanks everyone.